Lifeblood is a 501c3 not-for-profit blood center whose mission is to engage volunteer blood donors and provide a safe blood supply for patients. There are 6 donor centers that we have, and they're located throughout the area, as well as we have mobile blood drives going on every day throughout the area. So we try to make it convenient for the donors to come in to donate.
The community in Memphis uses about 120,000 units of blood in a year. Local donors provide about 55,000 units of blood through local donations. So we have to bring in from other communities the other half of the blood, a little more than half, that is needed for patients here. On a regular basis, we need to see about 300 donors a day, draw about 300 units of blood and platelets to keep the shelves stocked, to keep the inventory fresh. As many people don't know, some of our most frequent donors don't know, blood expires. It's a perishable product. It lives for about 42 days at a maximum. Pediatric patients, patients at Le Bonheur, need fresh units that are less than 7 days old. So that supply has to be replenished on a daily basis, certainly on a weekly basis, and 300 a day is the magic number.
A unit of blood is actually good for 35 or 42 days based on how we collect it. And the reason why a red cell is basically living tissue. Each unit of blood has what we call anticoagulants, or it has extra nutrients, preservatives in it that give it that shelf life. So based on how we collect it in what bag, that's how we know how many days it's good for. Pretty much like milk or bread, based on at what point it's going to go bad or not be therapeutic for the patient anymore.
We have, out of our 35,000 donors, about a visit and a half, so between 1 and 2 times a year that they come to see us. And a handful of donors are much more loyal than that, and we're very, very grateful for those. We hope they'll inspire others to come that frequently. If everybody who donates would donate 3 times a year, if all of our whole blood donors would come just 3 times a year, we could keep this community self-sufficient.
We have a wonderful tele-recruiting department, and they call our donors very frequently to remind them that, okay, now it's time, you are eligible to give blood. And then we have something called lapsed donor, a lapsed donor base, and the tele-recruiters can also call those people and say, you haven't given in a while and we really need you to come in and give.
You see that it's just like a bank. We have to have deposits come in on a daily basis in order to make the withdrawals on the other end that the hospitals serve the patients that require the blood transfusions. With each donation, we do blood pressure, pulse, temperature, and a red cell count before the donation. If all those are acceptable, then the donor can donate. After the blood donation, we test the blood for infectious diseases, but also we test them for cholesterol readings so that we keep our donors in the wellness mode so they can continue to donate.
There are a number of companies in our community that are very committed to the blood supply, and they will get the word out to their employees when we're having a shortage or when we have a particular need, even if they're not having an event, to let folks know that we need them.
You know, there are lots of myths about donating blood. People are scared of needles. People think, you know, they're coming to have to spend the afternoon with us to donate blood, when in reality it takes about 40 minutes to an hour. So we have to kind of dispel the myths and let people know that what they're doing, that they're essentially, you know, donating blood to save a life in our community.
It is an uphill struggle, trying to get people to just understand, again, that there is a need, there is a daily need, and the myths need to be eradicated and get more people involved in giving blood.
Come visit the wing in Le Bonheur with us and look at those babies who need transfusions for their heart defect surgery, and talk to their parents and tell them that you don't have time. Because if you don't have time, there isn't a transfusion to help their baby get through that heart surgery. There is nothing else that will treat that baby other than a blood transfusion, and they need you. And that's why we ask folks, particularly people who are new to blood donation or who have some reservations about it, just commit to seeing us 2 to 3 times a year. If you would come 2 to 3 times a year and everyone else would do the same, we would have enough to meet the need in this community.
It's a great charitable cause without necessarily having to pay anything, because it's just, you know, your blood is free and it's a great gift.